Hey everybody, it's Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. In today's video, we're going to take a little walk down memory lane, and I want to show you some of the things I got from an auction house back when I lived in the Houston area. There was a really great auction house that had a preview day where you could go in and preview items and then bid on them online at home. And so I was going to show you some of the footage, but the footage was so bad. And I just want to say thank you to those of you who've been with me for that long, that watched that footage and stuck with me anyway, because going back watching it was pretty painful. I'll link the videos if you decide you want to go watch them, but I've come a long way, baby. Anyway, I thought I would show the things that I picked up, especially since there's still things that are good bolos or be on the lookout for now. Things that you can pick up for cheap and then flip them for a good profit. So I'm going to show you some of the things I got, and then I'm going to show you what they actually sold for so that you can see that they are still something that are selling. I'll also show you some current eBay solds for those type of items so that you can see that there are things that are still good pickups. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. So the first part I'm going to do, I was going to go through the auction with you guys and show you. So I'm going to do the first part like this. The second auction haul, I'm going to just show you screen grabs and sold prices, and we'll go from there. So this is the first auction, and what this is a tub of is flat gift wrap, vintage wrapping paper, that's it. And this is a big giant plastic tub full of it, tons and tons. And I ended up buying the whole tub, or winning this lot, for $12. And this, oh, $6, scratch that. I thought it was 12. Anyway, so I paid $6 for all of this, and I was able to sell a ton of it. In just a second, oh look, hey, subscribe. Obviously I was going to do a little bit different thing with this video. So I end up getting this lot. As you can see, it's full. And this is me back at home. And again, I'll share the link to this original video. And I'm showing, like, okay, for this wrapping paper, the green one, it sold for $8.99 just for that one. So even if it's just kind of like blah wrapping paper, it's still, people use it for crafts. People use it for scrapbooking. So this one, there were a couple that didn't pop up. So this one was $8.99. I didn't do all of them. So here was some Aladdin ones. This one sold for $19.99. Some of them, if they say expires, that means it's sold on eBay, because on Etsy I can pull up all my sold prices still. On eBay it only keeps it for 90 days. So Little Mermaid sold for $19.99. Beauty and the Beast, $19.99. I go through all of these. But anyway, you can see that vintage wrapping paper, this one sold, even with just the teddy bears, which I think is just whatever, cutesy pootsy, sold for $18.99. This like one that's all like cool and retro, I couldn't find the sold on that one, I think. But the other one with the little girls, these ones, sold for $14.99. I mean, this lot of vintage wrapping paper just made me money, hand over fist. It was so easy because you just take a picture front and back. You know, if there's a card or a label, you take a picture of that, list it, and then to ship it, I would just get like a piece of cardboard to wrap around it and then slide it either into, you know, an eBay bubble mailer, or even just like you know, at the post office no, those are priority ones, but just any kind of like larger envelope size, you could put those in to ship out really, really easily. So like here's another one with the woodland creature sold for, I think that one could have sold for more now. The more unique and whimsical and stuff like that, the more that they could sell for. The mushrooms, $14.99. So as you can see, I mean, $6 was spent on the whole lot, and it just keeps going and going. So I'm just gonna apparently keep showing you lots and lots more. I can fast forward it. I don't know, would you want to see the rest of it? And then I'll show you on eBay that there are still people selling, and some of them it's double, like there's two of the same ones, still able to sell this flat gift wrap, you know, for pretty good money. This one was 10 sheets. And I know some people were saying, oh my gosh, you know, I find this at thrift stores, garage sales, but I use it to wrap my sales. I didn't realize I could actually sell the wrapping paper. Oh yeah, totally. And this Southwest one I didn't sell for enough either. I forget what I said I sold it for, but people love their Southwest design stuff. And in the box, I think I showed in just a second, there was some other stuff. There was like ribbon and luminaries and goodness gracious. Wait, I guess we're just going to look at it. I feel like when I was showing you this stuff, I'm like, ugh, you don't want to see all this. But you know what? Okay, so there were 33 that were sealed packages that sold that were still brand new and sealed. And then there were a bunch more that were open that you could still like make lots with or sell just parts of the wrapping paper, that even if it was cut. Because if somebody's looking for some, oh, here's the rest. So like a bunch of this stuff in there was cut wrapping paper, but those still sell. And then these luminaries I ended up selling for 20 bucks on Etsy. So let's take a look on eBay at vintage wrapping paper so that you can see that. I know some of those that I sold, you know, it's been a little while ago. Is it still something that is worth picking up? So when we come over, these are still ones that are up for sale, but if we scroll down to look at the sold items, then we can come over, and it's sorted by recently sold. And I am going to take this over here and do buy it now because I don't do auctions, and I think sometimes that skews the results. So I'm seeing here, yeah, somebody sold that for $3, but here's a lot that sold for $17-ish. ET $10.99. I think that could have sold for a lot more. Here's one that sold for $25 with the gingerbread man. And I also think, you know, maybe Etsy is a good place if you're selling on multiple platforms. Let's do a search for highest to lowest. So those are ended recently. I want to come over here and search highest first, because the thing with this is, the thing about the vintage wrapping paper is also, if you're looking for a certain style, you're going to be willing to pay for the right thing. So I think some of them, you know, if you're looking for a quick flip, then sell it cheap. But if you, I mean, even some of these lots, like, would be good to get and then split up to sell for individually, you know what I mean? So here's a lot of 12 that, you know, was up for $35. Somebody took a best offer on that. Here's one that's a vintage Rainbow Bright that sold for $27.80. Here's some Annie wrapping paper, and this one sold for $17.75. So I'm seeing some that are just a bunch of lots. I really think that some of these could sell for more individually. But I guess it just kind of depends on if you're willing to wait, if you're willing to break that lot apart and sell them one at a time. I mean, here's one that says Rare Astro Snicks, $15. There's 4 yards of it, so it wasn't the flat wrapping paper. Here's a Gibson Fawn one. It was listed for $22.98, and just below that, Alien wrapping paper that sold for 20 bucks. And here's some that is this Victorian Rose Garden that sold for 20 as well. Hallmark poinsettia wrapping paper sold for 25 bucks. That's one of those flat ones. Here's one that's Bluebirds that sold for $18.99, and some little cute puppies. So as you can see, there are some that are selling individually still for a good profit. And I really do think that some of those that are listed in lots could be broken up if you're willing to wait for the right buyer to come along. So here is the footage from the auction of the lot of hard stuffed animals. And I was checking to see if there were any Steiff, because I know that's one brand that is a really good one as far as the hard stuffed animals, whether they're sawdust filled or I don't even know what else they fill them with, honestly. But I did end up getting this lot. So, I mean, look at this footage, you guys. So I paid $4 for this lot, and then just, I mean, I can't believe y'all, some of y'all still watch me after some of this that I did. But this was the auction preview day, which I will link, but don't hold it against me, like I said. There was like a big deer, a couple dogs, teddy bear, rabbit. So here it is back at home. And at this time, I had an antique booth, and I believe I ended up putting, I'm showing how big it is with my arm. I ended up putting, this footage is so horrible, putting some of them in my antique booth, so I don't remember on a couple of them. This vintage wire fox terrier sold for $150, and what did I say I paid for, like, what is this? I can't remember now, like $4 for the whole lot, $6. Anyway, so that sold for $150. Some of these other ones I think I just put in my antique booth. Look at this amazing footage, you guys. You can rib me all you like in the in the comment section. And this dolly that, how did I get away with this? I mean, seriously, let's roast my horrible footage. But at least I've gotten better at it. That's the perks, right? All right, so even if that was the only one that sold, $150. This cat I fell in love with, the Legend of Fiend Fiend Siamese cat. I listed it crazy high. I could find nothing at all about it. So I can't, it's going to show in a second what I paid for this cat. I did end up selling it, and it took a while, but I'm going to show you. I just fell in love with it. I felt like I needed to keep it, but I didn't. I couldn't. Okay, $12. I paid $12 for this cat, and it says here expires. So it sold on eBay and not on Etsy. It did not sell for $500. It sold for $250, I believe. I'll have to go back, $250 or $275. So having something that you paid for $12 for and selling it for $250 or $275 is an amazing profit. Now, I listed it crazy high because I was like, I could find nothing else about it. I couldn't find anything like it. So I was willing to wait for somebody to pay a really high price for it, and they did. So let's go take a look at if vintage hard stuffed animals or antique stuffed animals still bring a good profit. So I did a search for antique hard stuffed animals, and I found some up there. There were not a whole lot. So $195 for antique hard stuffed animals. These are ones that are not sold yet. And some of them were kind of like, kind of like, almost like this little lion was more like a carnival prize. There we go, carnival prize toy. But some of the other ones, like this little spider monkey that sold for $24.99, I thought that was pretty cool. Then this was a monkey. It was like a beatnik monkey. That was a hard stuff that sold for $10.49. I feel like, I mean, these rabbits were pretty cool, and these sold for $44, so that was good, even though they've got quite a bit of wear. Let me zoom in. This kind of looks like my dog that I sold, but yeah, mine was in kind of the same shape, 12-inch hard. It might have been very similar to mine, but this one sold for $20. And this is a little stiff bulldog that sold for $25, and that's a little stiff. And then here's a vintage lot hard of these. These look like Dachshund ones. I've sold some of those before too. Does it say? Okay, anyway, $19.99 is what those ones sold for. So there are still some hard stuffed animals that can sell if you find, I think it has to do with subject matter too. Like the dog, there are dog people that like their wire terriers. And so if you can get like a breed of dog, or people love rabbits, cats, come on. So I think to be selective with some of them, but I think overall, if you can get it for a pretty cheap price, you can make a good profit on them still. So I'll show you little snippets from this one because I don't know why I'm going to embarrass myself. But this is the haul video from a different auction that I did, the winnings.
I saw this right here. And I says to myself, Margaret, now, you know, that's not costume jewelry. That's a nice hunk of amber set in silver. And so I bid on it, and I won the lot because I was willing to go up on this one. But yeah, it's even marked silver and everything. So the rings, there were, I think, 13 rings. I'll show you the rest. But that was the piece that I said, that one right there. And that's the thing about this auction place. Sometimes they know their stuff, and sometimes they're...
Anyway, I got all these rings for $14, and the lot was labeled a costume jewelry lot, and I saw an amber and sterling silver ring in there and knew that it was not costume jewelry. So let me show you the rings that I got and the ones that sold anyway. There are a few that may have ended up in lots because I didn't have a listing for them, whether current or sold. So I'll show you screenshots of the rings, and I'll link this video if you want to go and watch it. But I'll show you the rings, and I'll show you what I ended up selling them for. And again, it was $14 for all the rings in that lot. So this is the first ring. This is the amber and sterling silver ring from that lot. And this one ended up selling on Etsy for almost $79, $78.99. This next ring that sold was a gold tone kind of woven ring. And this one sold for $19.99. This next ring was like a black carved ring. I wasn't sure if it was onyx or what. Let me see what I ended up listing it for. But it's carved as like these two food dogs holding a ball in between their mouths. It was pretty cool. And this one ended up selling on eBay. I had it listed on Etsy for $67.99, so it might have gone for a little less than that if I took an offer I'm not sure because eBay's prices roll off. I'd have to go hunt down the numbers, but I'm guessing I wouldn't have taken anything less than 50 bucks for this. I remember it selling for quite a bit. So I'll just show you some of the other rings from this lot. This one is still never sold, but I wanted to show you on Etsy. It shows that I've renewed it 12 times. So 12 times 20 cents is a couple bucks. So that one, the other rings have more than made up for it, but this one was in that lot. It still hasn't sold. It's still for sale. This adjustable beaded ring, and it is, like it says, adjustable on the back, sold for $14.99. And this little articulated fish, which was also an adjustable ring, sold for 25 bucks. And this one was pretty cool. It's that like princess tie style, and this one sold for $40, and this one was an adjustable ring as well. Another thing I got from that auction was this Alf stuffed animal. It's pretty big. I got it for $2 and I flipped it for, and he sold fairly quickly for $50. So I thought we'd take a look at some Alf things that have sold. I would look up all the jewelry stuff, but jewelry still sells. Fish jewelry, amber jewelry, it's still going to be something that's a really good seller. So yeah, I mean, Alf stuffed animals. Some of these are on auction, 30 bucks. These pencil toppers, come on, for $10. That's awesome. Some different stuffed animals. I always hesitate to go off of auction prices because they can be low. So here is a Alf still in the package, 125 bucks. And this one is very similar to the Alf that I sold for what was it, 40 bucks? Sold for 25. So there are a few Alf ones that are a little bit lower, some that are a bit higher. I think, you know, if you can get it for a good price, that it would still be a fun thing to pick up and sell. There are people that love Alf. Well, let me know what you thought about this video. I am thinking of doing some more like this, going through garage sale ride-alongs or thrift hauls that I've done and taking them and talking about the things that have sold and what they've sold for, and if they're still good pickups. So if you are enjoying this type of video, then go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified when I put out new videos, and I hope you're staying safe out there. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.